Hey guys, CubeHamster here with part 2 of the Ultimate Slimestone tutorial. Last episode we talked a bit about flying machines and different engines, and also on how you can attach more segments to your flying machine, making them bigger, giving them like a certain shape. And this episode I would like to talk more about sequential piston mechanics, so pistons doing stuff in a certain order to give some sort of effect, or pistons doing something along the way while your engine is moving along. So without further ado, let's get going. For the next couple of examples, I'd like to use the looped caterpillar engine. It's kind of compact and not too fast. And the speed of the engine for what I want to show now is kind of important, because if you're doing sequential stuff, so pistons firing in a certain order, you have to kind of adjust your engine to the complexity of the sequence you want to do. And I want to start very simple, something we've actually already done last week. But say, for instance, you want to fire a piston every block to do something. What you could do is push a piston into a powered position, and then slightly after, how fast you want it to be depends on what you plan on doing, but slightly after, moving the redstone block away from the piston you are firing to unpower it again, and then move it forward into the position again and repeat. And yeah, just kind of as a silly example, let's see how could we make this interesting. I'm actually going to go a bit lower, just so I can, like, I'm not sure how relevant this will be, but for example, say you want to pick up some blocks along the way while you're flying. This is a way you could do it. So I'm pushing a block into a powered position, causing it to extend, and then because it gets pushed away immediately by this piston, they get out of the position. Now, I mean, all the examples I'm going to give this episode are not going to be very specific, but I'm just trying to show general concepts of what you can do. So this is a way to get pistons to fire along the way in a certain orientation every step of the way. Sometimes, however, you are in need of some pistons that actually do not fire every step of the way as your engine moves along. An example for that would be the legs on Mega Gargantua. I do not want them to extend down every step that my engine makes. Gargantua actually rises its legs, then moves 3 blocks forward, and then extends down again. And the mechanics I use for that are kind of like this. You get 2 normal pistons, or actually works with sticky pistons as well, funny enough. And you put them into powered positions while both the sticky piston or both the pistons stick to the slime blocks. Now, as soon as you update them, as one of the pistons extends, seeing as the other one's attached to the slime blocks, it's going to get dragged along by the slime and then extend. So this one actually pushes 2 blocks forward before it stops. And the Gargantua, I actually have a situation where I've got 3 of these, also like getting pushed into a powered position, and then they extend like this. And I have no idea which order the pistons fire, but honestly I don't care. It's kind of irrelevant. I just want them to drag each other along and come to a stop at some point. You could technically also do it with 4, but you have to bear in mind the 7 block push limit. As soon as I activate this piston is pushing 11 blocks, the 8 blocks at the front and then the 3 other pistons. But you do get an interesting mechanic like this. And then you can hook this up with other stuff. So just as an example of how you could utilize this, say for instance you have 2 pistons like this, and these will effectively extend 2 blocks every 2 steps my engine make. So effectively they're going at an average speed of 1 block per push. But yeah, they only do 2 blocks every 2 pushes. Let me just get like another piston here. Again, this is just like you have to somehow use this in a way that suits your needs. I can't give examples for everything, but as a general idea, take for instance this situation. This is actually looking at it kind of the way that the front cannon on Gargantua. The front cannon of Gargantua kind of works like this. So what's going to happen is this one's going to push every step my engine makes, and this one's going to push 2 blocks every 2 steps my engine makes. And as I drag it along, what will happen is this one will kind of overtake the other one and push this piston into a powered position and causing it to extend 2 blocks. And you can use this, for instance, to launch TNT forward. Well, yeah, that's a general idea. I guess we should try and make it do something every 3 blocks. I think that would be interesting. Let's see if we can actually do that. So let's actually try that as well. See how that would work out. So every 3 steps of the way would look something like this. I'm not going to push slime blocks there. Push 1, 2, 3. Push 1, 2, 3. Push. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. So you can, yeah, kind of use this to get certain piston actions in certain situations. And yeah, when you would need this is kind of up to you. It depends on what you're trying to make. I find these mechanics kind of useful for certain situations. Now, before we move on to the more, even more advanced stuff, there's some other sort of interesting mechanics that I can show you. Is, for instance, if you, this is kind of what I used on the robot alicorn video. Let's see, like that. The thing is, if you move this redstone block out of the way, this will move up, and if you then push this piston into the position, it will immediately extend down again, so you get kind of a loop that way. And you could very easily use that for like legs on a robot, for instance. So a way that would work is actually, this should probably already be enough. Let's see. Just go all the way. So now if I activate my engine, this should probably kind of function like a leg. A really weird looking leg, but it kind of bounces. So redstone block gets pushed out of the, like away from next to the piston, causing it to retract, while this one moves forward. But seeing as this one, the sticky piston retracts, it places the redstone block underneath, causing it to immediately extend, getting pushed back into the power position. It's kind of a useful mechanic. That's one way you can do it. Another way you could go about doing things is actually, instead of pushing stuff forward to get it to extend down, is by dragging it along. There's also like dragging systems you could use. So what I want first is I want to create a situation where I push a piston into a powered position, causing it to extend, sticky piston in this case. And then when I move it away, it's going to retract a bunch of slime blocks along. And this one's quite interesting. Let's actually move this into the correct position. So let's just see if this works. It does, so that's dragging it along, which is what I want. And then, let me think, if I were to put it like this, for instance, extended pistons don't count as movable blocks. This could basically be the same as obsidian right now. You can't move them, but that also means that the slime blocks are going to completely ignore it. So whereas I'm going to retract this segment as soon as, you know, this gets pushed forward and then dragged along, it's going to move the redstone block away, unpowering this piston. And what I could then do is I can this is going to get pushed here because of, you know, this segment getting pushed to the side, and then this retracts, placing this redstone block underneath, pushing it forward again, which will extend it downward again. I'm saying it now, it's kind of, you know, hard to imagine, but just to show you, if I start this, so this one gets moved away, and as the piston is extended, it's not getting dragged along, which but does cause this piston to get pushed forward, and as the extended piston retracts, it powers this piston, pushing it back into the powered position, and you gotta kind of get a sequence like that as well. So yeah, there is some more mechanics. The thing is though, with this tutorial, I cannot show everything. You have to see these things and yeah, kind of implement them in different ways to get all the different results. But that's just how it goes with redstone. You can't just reproduce everything people make. You have to experiment a bit yourself. There's one more thing I want to show, and that's like the highly advanced way of going things, because these piston sequences are still kind of small, but now I kind of want to go to the more yeah, kind of bigger things. Okay, now that we've kind of dealt with all the simpler piston sequences, I want to go on to one more advanced one, and it's the principle that matters, not the the sequence itself. It's just like kind of the way it works. So for example, say I have just a sticky piston down with some blocks, and it's actually kind of, I'm going to put a manual engine here so I can just activate it whenever I want to. These are extremely handy. I love these. I mentioned it before, I'll keep saying it though. If, say I have this situation, as soon as I activate this piston, as soon as I update this piston, it is already activated, it will move forward, you know, grabbing a block and then pushing, grab and push, pushing this piston into position where it gets pushed against the redstone block, causing it to extend. Yeah, so that's simple enough. And if I want to undo this, all I have to do is move the redstone block out of the way. That's something we have already done. But I can make this a little bit more advanced by, for instance, putting another piston here, where if I were to push it forward one block again, it's going to extend, pushing this piston down next to this one. So my sequence just got a little bit bigger. If I want to undo this, all I have to do is move this piston out, or this redstone block out of the way, and then move this redstone block out of the way. Could make it even more advanced. Let's actually try that. Say I were to do it like this. In order to power this piston in a moment, it's going to have to be moved down and be moved to the right. So if I move it forward now, that's going to extend as well. If I want to undo this, I have to move this redstone block out of the way, then this one, and then this one. And this has to happen in a certain sequence. Now, I hope you can imagine that this sequence is going to be quite long, and in order to do it, I will need a somewhat slow engine. So we're going to use a slower version of the
caterpillar engine. But yeah, first things first, we have now figured out what the sequence will be, and now it's just a matter of getting a proper engine and figuring out the timings. Now, the engine we have right now is, or we don't really have an engine actually, but if I were to remove this block, an engine like this would be way too fast, because we're extending this piston, then extending that, and then afterward we want to retract. And maybe we actually want it to be extended for a couple seconds before we retract it. So what we need is an engine that is a lot slower. And yeah, you can approach this problem many different ways, but that's the thing with redstone. Like, you can do stuff a lot of different ways. But what I think I'm going to choose to do is, I think I'm actually going to, let's see. This might end up a bit messy, but I'm going to first make an engine. Let's actually start by making an extremely slow engine, and then we'll figure out how we're going to handle the rest. I'm going to use 4 caterpillars in like a circle. So this is 2 caterpillars in a circle. I'm going to use 4. So it's going to be twice as slow as that one, and that one's already kind of slow. I can get rid of these for now. So this will be the start, and I'm wondering if it could be interesting to move the entire thing. No, let's actually not. Let's just go with this. This is fine. I'm gonna get some obsidian because I want to power these pistons without them realizing it, like that. And then we need a block there, a block there, and a block here, and then power this as well. So these are just 4 caterpillars. I activate this one, that activates this one, that activates this one, that activates this one, which will activate the first one. So it's not going to do that much now. It's just going to, push, move very, very slowly. If I want to stop it at the moment, I just remove the redstone block. So now it's just the matter of the redstone blocks, though, because they have to be moved out of the way when I'm done with them. So we have our engine, and I'm going to make a quick cut so I can figure out what would be like a good way of showing how you would remove the redstone blocks. Okay, so figured out what would be the easiest way to kind of show how to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start the pistons in their powered positions, and if I move this forward, this is going to push the piston, over here. But it can't really do anything until the whole thing retracted again. And in order to start retracting again, I think I'm going to choose to add a little bit of more delay. I'm not even sure how necessary this is, but I'm just going to do it anyway. By adding an additional caterpillar, and if I move this there, it will update and move forward like we showed in the previous episode. And then what I'm going to do is just, I guess I can actually move it there, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and as I'm moving that out of the way, I can just add another piston here. So I'm moving this out of the way, which caused it to retract, but as I move that out of the way, I can also move this out of the way. And then if I have Another piston there. This is not like the prettiest way of doing things, but it will show it will show what I mean. So I'm pushing this piston into position, ready to get powered, and as soon as this piston retracts this one and this one, it will push it forward again, causing it to extend again. So let's actually try that. There we go. So this is a movable double piston extender. And it is, you're constantly, okay, so you have got fixed redstone blocks and you're pushing a segment with sticky pistons into that extend in like an order, just because the way you've positioned the redstone blocks. And then you have the sequence, getting the redstone blocks out of the way, retracting the whole thing. So the extending is not really the issue, it's just figuring out like removing the redstone blocks, causing it to unextend. That is kind of complicated, or not really that complicated either. I guess if you want to, turn this into a robot leg, we are now pushing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks, so we can probably add a couple more. Yeah, we can't really reach the ground, but I think this should still move. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, this is where I would like to conclude part 2 of the ultimate slime block tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Whoa, weird block. And yeah, the next episode, I can already tell you, I want to talk about movable buttons, movable T flip-flops, and movable wiring, so you can look forward to that. Like always, if you enjoyed this video and want to help me spread my content to more people, feel free to leave a like. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I love reading those. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.